Today I have 3 winter DIYs for you. It dawned on me last week that not everyone likes to decorate for Valentine's Day. I never have. This is the first year I've put out Valentine's decor. Some will decorate for winter until March. So I thought I would put out a winter decor video before that window closes. Let's get into these Dollar Tree winter crafts. For this first DIY, you'll need one of these tins from the rolled wafer cookies from the Dollar Tree. You'll also need a yogurt container from the Wee yogurt and a lid from a canning jar. I'll be using some E6000 to put our hat together. So that the very top of my tin isn't painted, I like to, when I'm gluing something to something else, I like for it to be unpainted if at all possible, because I feel like it adheres better if the surface is unpainted or unfinished. So I'm just taping this off before I give it a coat of spray paint. The tin will get a coat of Heirloom White by Rustoleum, and the hat will get a coat of black by Rustoleum. We're making a snowman, and I just took a piece of fabric for the snowman scarf, and I will just use a Sharpie to draw the eyes, and then I will go back over that later with some paint. I'm not very good at freehand drawing, so I'm just using a pencil to draw out the nose before I paint it. I'm using a nail head to make the dots for the mouth in some ink by Waverly chalk paint, and I'll be using that ink paint as well to go back over the eyes. For the nose, I'm using some orange paint. I believe it's called Pumpkin. I'm not 100% on that, but it's the orange Waverly chalk paint. For his buttons, I'm using some wooden buttons that I got from Walmart, and I will be giving them a coat of Waverly wax just to age them up a bit. To grunge up the snowman a little more, I'm going to be using some Rub and Buff in the color European Gold, but you can certainly use some antique wax or just some brown paint or whatever you'd like if you'd like to dirty up the snowman just a little bit to give him a grungy look. Now for the hat, I'm just taking the same fabric as the scarf and giving it a piece of trim. And I realized that the underneath of the hat is going to show, so I'm giving it a coat just around the edges of the ink by Waverly. Using some E6000 and hot glue, I'm just gluing the hat to the snowman's head. For this next one, you'll need a board. I'm going to be using this Christmas sign from the Dollar Tree. I'll be using the back. You'll also need some dowels and some paint or stain of your choosing. Even though I'm using the back of this sign, I am going to remove this jingle all the way. It's metal, and I'll be saving that for another project if I can keep it from breaking. I'm giving the back of the sign a coat, actually 3 coats, of Ivory chalk paint by Waverly. And I'm going to rough up these dowels using some scissors just to give them some texture and character. And then I'll be giving them a coat of antique wax. I actually traced around the sign on the craft paper that I'm using on my work surface so that I could have the size of my sign without having to mess with the sign too much since it's painted off-white. I didn't want fingerprints or other things happening to it while I was trying to figure out this snowflake shape. But I just eyeballed it and cut my lengths of dowel down to make the snowflake. The first part of the snowflake, the main structure of it, was very easy. But then when I got into the middle parts, it got a little more complicated. I had to do some figuring a couple of times, messed up a couple of times, and my measurements won't be the same as yours because it'll just depend on the size of your dowels and the size of your board and the pattern, whatever type of snowflake that you're wanting to make. So because there's so many different designs, you can just Google snowflake design online and you'll have all kinds of options. But I chose this design. I just had to eyeball it. And these sticks, these dowels, I cut on one end. I cut at a 75-degree angle and the other at a 45. And that's how I got these. And it's certainly not perfect. Everything doesn't match up perfectly, and that's okay. I'm going for a rustic snowflake, very homemade looking, so that kind of decor is right up my alley. So I like how it turned out, and then I basically just at the end of each main snowflake arm, I put the extra little pieces, and I didn't care that they were not the same length. I just wanted to use up the little clippings from where I was trying to figure out the angles on the center part. And then when I got done, I just went back and painted some of the hot glue that was showing. If it was showing under the snowflake, then I painted it with the ivory, and if it was showing on the top of the snowflake, I covered it in some of the antique wax. And I'm just going to use some cotton twine that I got from Walmart as the hanger. For this next DIY, you'll need one of these stretched canvases from Crafter's Square at Dollar Tree. And I'm using the 8x10 size, but you can use whichever size you'd like. And I'm just going to remove the canvas from the frame. I'm going to be sending the canvas through the printer, so I cut away the folded parts of the canvas fabric, and I'm going to be taping it to this piece of cardstock so I can send it through the printer. And I'm going to be printing on the back side of the canvas material instead of the front, more white side. I will leave the link to this image in the description box. It's a winter print, and it just has a little verse on it about winter and a winter image on it. I really liked it. It's very old, so it's in the public domain, and I will leave that down in the description box. I gave one coat of antique wax to the frame, and then I'm just using a combination of Elmer's school glue and some hot glue to glue the frame to the front of the print. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps my channel out, and if you hit that notification bell, you won't miss it when I upload a new video. Hope you have a wonderful day. See y'all next time.